Hello, and welcome to another One Lion of Code. I am One Lion, and Dukasoft is Dukasoft, and Disco is Disco, and they're all here. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. It is another one of those days of the week where I am super excited to be a developer. I hope you are too. For any of you that are developers, for any of you that are into whatever you're into, I hope you are thoroughly enjoying it. Oh, so... yes, and Apocalypse is here. Hello, Apocalypse. Happy Wednesday to you as well. Thank you for waking us all up. The music was a bit too chill. I like the chill, though. I love the chill, actually. I am getting my desktop ready. You can see it flashing at me. So when last we spoke, I was having some scare issues with not being able to access the data folder that contains all of my databases in the log folder. And I have no idea what caused it, to be honest, but a restart did work. So that was good. That was, I was glad that it wasn't anything more than just needing to restart my computer. So the bot is up and running, as you can tell. The thing that I'm trying to do on this computer over here is close Visual Studio because there is yet another update, and it felt like I just updated 2 days ago, or Friday, I guess. But there is another Visual Studio update that I want to apply to my work computer. And as you may have seen in Discord, which Dukasoft kindly posted the link to. So anyone that isn't a part of Discord, feel free to join. There's the invite link. And Stream Elements is like, but I announce Discord on occasion. See? It's like, yeah, you're gonna go away soon. But anyway, I will be ending the stream early today, because over on Blazor Train on Carl Franklin's channel, or actually on DevExpress. Sorry, it's going to be on DevExpress. Not directly on Carl Franklin's channel, unless Carl Franklin always has been streaming to the DevExpress channel. I thought he had his own actual channel though. But anyway, he has invited Steve Sanderson or someone. They have a setup thing where Steve Sanderson is going to go there and talk about Blazor United, and I'm really excited to listen in on that and maybe ask some questions if I have any. So I'd want to watch that live. So we're going to end the stream 30 minutes earlier than usual, maybe 32 minutes earlier than usual, so I could probably have a chance to grab a snack and run back to start watching. But Dukasoft again posted the link to that video that will be upcoming in about an hour and a half, a little under an hour and a half. So feel free to check that out too. Exciting news about Blazor United. And for those of you that don't know, Blazor United is a way for you to be able to have an ad hoc Blazor experience, essentially. So a lot of you might be using exclusively Blazor WebAssembly because it makes the most sense, or exclusively Blazor Server because it makes the most sense, and you're like, what I want from my Blazor WebAssembly experience is to start up as fast as possible, somehow download the Blazor WebView, or Blazor WebView, I'm stuck on that today. Somehow download the Wasm runtime, but still have the app interactable. And Blazor United is a way that you can do that, where it loads the runtime behind the scenes while the app is running, maybe starts up in server mode, unless you just happen to have a page that doesn't even need to be rendered, not rendered, doesn't even use any of the Wasm capabilities or any of the Blazor capabilities, it's just static assets, then it won't even need to download any of that. So anyway, Live Coding is also here. Hello, Live Coding. He says, I will say two things. Two things. I have zero excitement for Blazor, but two, I've seen notes where the existing version of Blazor is already more productive than ASP.NET, according to Jeff Palermo, which I get a whole bunch of his emails. I'm on one of the mailing lists for him, and lots and lots of courses that he talks about. So I'm cautiously not hating Blazor in general. There are plenty of drawbacks to using Blazor, mostly to do with server resources versus, the trade-off between using up server resources, which I honestly don't know what the full impact of that is, because the projects that I've worked on are either they're Wasm projects, which offloads all of the needing to run on a server to the client machines, or a desktop application that's just using Blazor for the rendering engine, essentially. I think server resources argument is bunk, so you're good. Yeah, it's mostly that the session and all of that and all of the UI stuff, if you're running in server mode, is being processed on the server for every user that's connected to the app. Unlike server rendered applications that just the server pre-renders all of the stuff, sends out the content to the user, there is an active connection between the client machine and the server that says, here is this UI action. Server says, here is the diff that you're going to get, or here is how you're supposed to update the UI in order to make it look like what it's supposed to look like now. So that makes it a little bit slower as far as UI responsiveness, but also a little bit more resource intensive because you have this active connection between all of the clients that are connected to your site or to your app. But in Wasm, of course, all of that gets offloaded to the user at the expense of that initial download the Wasm .NET runtime, so that the app will run natively on their machine through that .NET Wasm runtime. Yeah. But Live Coding said, also, I'm pretty sure any technology that actually relies on real WebSockets is 100% doomed. Global scale companies can run WebSockets, nobody else. That's an interesting take. I honestly don't know enough about it, but I trust your informed information that you just provided to us. And Dukasoft says, sounds like my thoughts about needing WebSockets. I love the two-in-one solution. Yeah, so the two-in-one solution is WebAssembly won't load in your app unless you tell it to, and it needs to. So let's say a user goes to your site and they don't touch any of your pages that use Blazor components, Wasm will never load. Or you can have Wasm load in the background immediately, but start your application in server mode so that the next time the user visits the site, Wasm is already loaded, downloaded, and they can just run it as a WASM map, and just any combination of these things. So it's really cool stuff. Live coding is saying WebSockets cannot be balanced. Oh, they cannot be load balanced. True, because you need that active connection, and the active connection holds to one specific server. So in a sense, you can't really do stateless, like what you would do with containers, for example. Just this stateless thing that you're sending all the information needed to get whatever you're getting back from the server. Doesn't matter who you're talking to, who you're connected to. Yeah. Wow. That's a thought. So you need a crazy custom solution if you want high availability WebSocket stuff. Obviously, someone has figured out how to load balance WebSockets somewhere, but it's not an easy thing. Signal R drops down to other technology and reconnects, so it's fine with Signal R generally, but that's not just WebSockets, right? It doesn't even need to use WebSockets, from what I understand about Signal R. I don't know that for sure. Again, not the most knowledgeable on these technologies because I haven't needed to do anything that's like, we need to make sure this is high availability, high performant, etc. It was all local dev. I mean, we did use the cloud to host our applications, but it was a small group of people, like 20 something people that accessed the apps. And usually it was only like 4 to 5 persons per app. We are all in violent agreement. Rage with us, Dukasoft. Apocalypse is saying, I'm also hyped for HTTP 3 and finally a UDP connection. Like, why have we been stuck with TCP for so long as the way to deliver web content? Why haven't we switched over to UDP so that we can have interrupted packets, so that we can have non-sequential packets, and everything just works out in the end? I didn't even know that was real. Huh, today I learned. I'm gonna run a quick server on my web host. Yes. Absolutely. Anyway, let's go to the desktop scene. So I'm done talking about the whole issue with the web view. I still haven't fixed it. I have moved on to, well, I haven't been actively working on it because I have had other bugs and features that I've been implementing with my work product. But I am kind of getting back to it a little bit there, so I'll do some more trying. The closest thing that I've gotten that works was something that Tyron pointed me to, well, that I knew about before, I just didn't really give it much credence, but was the non-client edge setting in the WPF app, and that eventually leads to a black hole. That gives me a border on the left, bottom, and right side that is non-client area, but it really only gives me like 1 pixel more of the resize grip area. So I'll figure it out. I know I will eventually. So that means that we are going to go ahead and move on to the next issue. So I need to get GitHub open, get GitHub to the project site. GitHub, where you can see all of my GitHub stuff that I look at. Oh man, all the good GitHub stuff. Automatic 1111 is still super addicting to me. Like right now, I have a computer that my wife and I pretty much use as our streaming service device. That's over there. And that's where I'm at in the evenings. That's why you don't really see me around anywhere in the evenings, because this computer is kind of off on its own. So that computer has a 2080 and an RTX 2080. And so I use that for all of my AI image generation stuff. And what it's doing right now is creating 100 pictures, each of like 4 different prompts. And yeah, it's giving me so many ideas and so many concepts that I can now visualize better and then draw more concepts off of So one of the things that I posted to Discord today was one of the pictures that was generated last night. And I was like, man, this thing is blowing my mind. So this is generated by AI. And I'm looking for pure fantasy. I don't want sci-fi elements. And so I was like, you know, this picture kind of has both. It's a pretty good blend of this fantasy character with this kind of sci-fi feel to it. It's almost reminiscent of Final Fantasy type stuff. But yeah, I was, in case anyone does get inspired by images like I do, this is in there to kind of stir creativity, to spur you to want to be creative, I guess. And if you feel like it, describe this scene. Tell me what's going on here. Tell me where this guy is coming from, where he's going to, what this light is above him. Is that just his weapon? Is that just a massive light sword or hammer or mace or what? Or is that actually like a tracking beam that shot him down to the land? And what is this land? Where is he? What is this thing down here? I gotta know. Are these remains? It looks like there's a sword sticking out of it. Looks like there's shadows coming out of it. I wonder if it's being consumed by the shadows. Anyway, that kind of stuff. So I can go down a rabbit hole just looking at one picture. And I'm generating hundreds of these and merging them and creating stories, and yeah. I love doing it. Moving on, back to the actual project that we're here for, because we're developers and we don't do that AI stuff. AI is going to take over us and make us lose our jobs. No, it's not. No, I disagree. Thank you, Dukasoft. So there is the link to the GitHub project that we're currently working on. Here are the issues that I currently have logged, and we were going to work on one of these. I'm kind of liking the account summary refresh, since we just finished the transaction history refresh on Wednesday of last week, I think. January 20th is the comment? No. Last week. February 15th, which is exactly 7 days ago. So yes, last Wednesday, we finished this issue. Today, we're going to pick up the issue where we want to refresh the account summary. So I will mark this as in progress. Save. Control S does not work. Okay, so this is issue number 16. And the way that I have been creating my branches is by putting the issue number in front and then a short description of what I am doing with that branch. So this is 16, fix account sum refresh. Yeah, that's good enough. Good enough. If you need more information, look at the GitHub issue. You'll know that it's issue number 16. All right, so I created the branch for this fix that we are about to do. Let's take a look at the app, see if it still builds from the most recent. Actually, did I even make sure that main was up to date with our most recent push? Because we did some work in a WPF branch that I'm not going to destroy anytime soon. However, I do want to delete number 14 because that is now in main. You are merged, so we can safely delete it. Deleted. And I'm going to delete my local copy as well. Coding is here. Hello, Xcoding. I hope you're having a fantastic day. So Xcoding is another fantastic streamer who does some .NET development. He was working, last I saw, he was working on a code editor from scratch, doing it all himself. Sorry I haven't been able to lurk on your stream lately. It's been super duper busy. I am going to put our countdown timer just to give everyone some anxiety. That's not the intent. I hope it doesn't give you anxiety for real. I would feel really bad. But I do want to remember that the Blazor United stream is going to start. So I will put the timer for what is today? The 22nd? That's an awesome number. At 12:28, 11:58, let's say. And on screen. So I found out what I might be doing with the space underneath the screen, by the way. Oh yeah, and I want to update that too. I'll probably just put, typical stuff over there past the timer for socials, the project itself, like the URL to the project kind of thing. I don't really have many socials. I mean, I have them. Like I have a Twitter, I have a Discord, I have a Facebook that I have not been on in forever. It's just I don't use it. I don't ever use them. I use Discord, I guess. That's about it. And then maybe some information about Community Day Fridays would go down there. And then up here, I want to change the current image that we are staring at into, which one of you guys wants to be my, actually, you know what? Let's generate a brand new image. I can't because that thing is running 100 miles an hour. We're not going to generate a brand new image. Instead, we're going to go to the archives of rejected images. Life as we know it will end in 1 hour. Of course, because new life will begin. A different life. One that we didn't know yet. All right, AI image, output archive, text, Angie, most recent, that probably has all of my thumbnails. Yep. And let's use this one. Oh my gosh, I love this one. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Today is a good day to write software. I could use more coffee, apparently. You okay up there? Okay, moving on. We created the branch to fix this thing. So let's just go ahead and use the same process that we were using whenever we submitted a transaction to update the, I was going to run this, to update the account summary, to update the transaction history list. .NET Stare. Have you guys been watching Captain Commerce's stream? You know what? We have not done like for real shout outs lately. Let's do a Captain Commerce one. See what he was working on lately or what. I don't know. This is just a random shout out clip anyway. Where is OBS? There you are. I don't hear anything. Not exactly sure what's going on. It's just frozen? What even is this clip? It looks Well, that's a good indication of Captain Commerce's stream. No, he's an awesome guy. He's really funny. He's very high. He's medium energy. I would say, but really cool member of our community. And then, as you saw earlier, Xcoding is in here. I haven't really done clips lately, and I want to do clips. So, do you have any clips, Xcoding? Let's see. We don't have any clips. Someone needs to clip Xcoding. And Mojo Fawad is here. Hello, Mojo. Hello, Mojo. But anyway, check out Xcoding. These are great people to watch if you like watching .NET streamers. This is really hard to do when you're using mouse without borders, because if I go too far to the right, the mouse falls off the screen. Okay. How about if I do it like this then? We'll go left. I'm so used to the screen being that one as my main monitor, or as my stream monitor, I guess. But OBS is just so uncooperative lately with their updates. But yes, you are absolutely welcome. I feel kind of claustrophobic next to this timer countdown. Don't. I'm behind it. I thought I was going to be in front of it. Nope, it's more important than me. Okay, so this is the financial management tracking application. It's currently set up to use LocalDB. We know that because these are the records that we entered on Monday. And these are the new records that we added to it. So that's fine. We can keep working in LocalDB. I have no problem with that. Normally it's connected to my local SQL Server instance, which is a developer edition. By the way, if you guys didn't know, you can download and install the SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server Developer edition, and have all of the features, all of the storage stuff, everything that you would expect to have in enterprise or professional, I don't know which one it is, in the for real version of SQL Server on your dev machine, as long as you're just using it for dev work, which we are. So just thought you'd like to know. And it's free, is what I was trying to get at. It's 100% free to use that. And that's why I'm happy using it, because it removes some of the limitations you have with LocalDB. Like there's some functions that you actually can't use in views and stored procedures and stuff. Not that I'm using any of those anyway, but can it make coffee? Oh, I wish it could. The answer is no. But then again, neither can the for real. At least not out of the box, but it has the potential. You just have to write the extension or plugin or functionality. I assume that it would be in I can't even think of the name of the scripts that you use in SQL Server. The automation script. SSIS? Something. Some kind of script. So anyway, select star from sugar. Insert into coffee. Select top 3. Anyway. What are we doing? We are showing the functionality that's currently working in transaction history. Don't worry about the styling. Styling is going to be a primary focus. We're going to restyle this app, recolor it, make sure everything lays out the way that it's supposed to. I still think that this is not a part of styling. This is just something that I want to fix, which is the table header and footer row. And I think just the table overall. Yeah, the entire table itself sitting on top of a position sticky. It's either positions. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's position sticky. Header row. And it's supposed to go behind like everything else does. So we'll fix that before working on the actual UI stuff. Another UI thing that's very important is responsive behavior, as well as making sure that all of our accessibility tags and stuff are correct, because I need to practice that, especially for my current work product. Okay. He looks so, I don't know. Is he sad? Is he angry? Is he torn between depressed and frustration? No, that is just his resting face. That's what he looks like. He's not sad. He's not showing emotion. He's just who he is. Dang it. Stop trying to push your emotions on it. Anyway, moving on. Oh my goodness. Where is this going? Here's the functionality. Here's the behavior. And did I actually log the thing where if we come to one of these pages, it doesn't populate the drop-down list until you leave and come back? Yeah, so transfer works and payment works, but not deposit. Okay. Is that already an issue? Lookup list for deposit data entry page does not populate when navigating to it directly. Yes. Okay, so let's get this thing done. Let's see this functionality where we are transferring from 0 to 2023. We are going to transfer 26 monetary units and 32 partial monetary units from our checking to our credit card, our credit charge, sorry. Looks like my son when I told him I ate all the candy. That's terrible. I need to get rid of these someday. The account numbers that show you did select the right accounts. But anyway, as soon as we hit submit, we should see a new record show up down here. And lo and behold, there it is. And actually we have, or sorry, there it is. We have a new record that is showing as pending. And then if we say, all right, this posted on the 21st. Oh, wait. So the thing that should have happened because of that, before I actually set the pending date, is the account summary up here should have updated to show a withdrawal of 26 monetary units and 32 partial monetary units from, oh no, I didn't actually pay for Vindy's from my credit charge. I want to update that real quick. That's what I thought I was paying off. Let me update that real quick. And I want to be able to do this in the app too. Say I accidentally put the wrong account. I charged the wrong account for a thing. So transactions, food data. And I'm not going to know which transaction this was, but we can maybe look at the combination of transaction date and posted date, which is 124 and 123, which is none of these. Oh yeah, it is. It's the very first one. All right, and I want that to be from account ID 3. All right, so if I refresh that, there we go. Okay, our credit charge had a balance of negative 2632. And we are now doing a transfer from checking to credit charge in the amount of 2632, which means it's not posted yet, but it means that the actual balance on my credit charge once that post will be 0. And in my checking account, here's my current balance. Here's a pending amount that is going to be removed from here. And this is the amount that I have available to me to use, at least for my purposes, for the way that I use my financial tracking and balancing and all that. But as soon as I change this to have a posted date, these pending values, again, you'll see this update immediately. These pending values will no longer be pending and they will be applied to the total balance. Awesome. So that's working. So the only thing that isn't working is this account summary is not immediately updating when I change a posted date, when I submit a transaction. Yeah. And then eventually when I update a transaction, let's say I put the wrong amount, and we're able to edit the amounts in the footer. Oh, that's why. Dang it. Yeah, I'm going to change my credit charge to, let's say, January 1st as well for my starting balance. Say I opened my credit card on the same day that I opened my checking and savings accounts. Okay. It didn't make sense to have a charge to my credit charge before opening the credit charge account. You know, it has to be right. Dang it. Okay, so here we go. We're going to use the same, I'm sure it is listing to property changes on the state that holds all of our transaction history. No, it is a transaction state class, but I'm sure it's a property in there that we should just be listing for changing, or an event that gets fired. I'm pretty sure it's an event that we should already be using in our transaction history that we are listening for. So a few approaches that we could take is as soon as this thing, as soon as we hit the submit button, then we somehow communicate to the account summary component directly. Like if we had a cascading parameter, or if the account summary card had an event that you would raise. But instead, I put all of my events in a state class that is shared throughout the application and dependency injected. Client. Is it not in client? State interfaces. iTransaction state would be one of them. Where exactly are you implemented? Don't tell me that you're implemented directly in the Blazor application. No, it would be in shared client. But I don't see the state folder. It's in the UI library. Duh. I know how I structure things. Anyway, here's our transaction state. So to be a transaction state, you must have an event called onTransactionHistoryChanged and another event called onTransactionRefreshError. Interesting. I don't remember making that one. A property called transactions, and two methods, one that is refresh transaction history async and one that is notify transactions changed. That can be called from anywhere because these all must be public since they are defined in the interface. So I have implemented those as such. Here are my two events. And here are my methods for refresh transaction history and notify. I have a couple of, or one private message, apparently. And ¿qué más? Were those the only things that needed to be implemented? Oh, and here's my list of transactions. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we have everything in place that we need to use. We just need to subscribe to the event for transaction history changed. Which is kind of weird that it would be transaction history. It's just transaction added. But really, it's just transaction history changed. So, I'm drawing this out if you couldn't tell. I'm trying to slow myself down just a little bit. So if we go into the account summary component, then I'm pretty sure it's in the actual account summary component that we get the account summaries. Yes. Okay, so on initialize, we will subscribe to, which means that we need a transaction history or transaction state. Set. Oh, close enough. Default. You don't need to be I. Good enough though. We need to subscribe to the on transaction history changed. Handle transaction history changed. And the only thing that we're going to do with handle transaction history changed is, oh no, it isn't the only thing. Shima. Oh. We're going to refresh our account summaries. And then this needs to be async, and then we will await invoke async state is changed so that we can refresh our component and then see the changes. And that should be all that we have to do to get this thing to refresh on account on transaction entered. So let's add a new transaction on the today. On the today. What was the English store? Was this our grocery store? I think this was our grocery store. Normally you would know what all of your A2s are. Pays. You are number 2. And number 2. Oh, this was right. Look up category payee. Is a number 4. And the number 4 category is restaurant. Okay, I'm eating again. Looks like I eat a lot. So we will be paying this restaurant a subtotal. And it was a big meal. Do you remember that meal? It was a good meal though. They charged me tax. I like 2s. And I gave a tip using my credit card, which, you know, if you guys want to be nice to your what are they called? Waiters and stuff. The lion was hungry. Then you would tip using non-tracked currency. That way they don't always have to report it as tips and wages, and they don't have to pay taxes on it. But anyway, I gave them a $10 tip. And it's still pending, but I paid using my credit charge. And it didn't update. Son of a... But it did show up down here. Oh, I know why. Dang it. We'll still see it update in a second. The reason it didn't update is because I told it to subscribe on initialize. This has already been showing this whole time because hot reload was just updating my code changes and they weren't root edits, so it didn't need to restart or anything. So this page, this component never needed to re-render, which means, never needed to reload, which means the onInitialize never got called. And on dispose, I also need to unsubscribe from this event. I almost forgot about that. You need to do, oh, right. This is why I need to slow down. I'm trying to do this in order. One thing that I forgot to consider is we could be in the middle of getting our transaction or our account summary when we add a new record. I mean, it would be highly unlikely since it goes really fast to get it, but in the event that we did, we'd want some way to be able to say, stop getting the previous account summaries. I don't care about them anymore because something changed and I want the latest. So if we create a private async task, refresh account summary, for example, async, then we can just as easily have this guy in there. And we'll say, wait, refresh account summary async. And this logic is now in here. Cool. And this thing will also be a way to refresh account summary async. Right. And this thing is going to be a way to invoke async status changed. And the reason that I'm putting another status changed up here in the onInitialize is because this thing is doing an await to get the data that populates this component. It's possible it'll finish rendering before the data has been populated into the account summaries. And so this thing will be like, I already rendered, I'm at the latest. But we're like, no, we updated account summaries. You need to re-render again. So that's what that's there for. So we need the functionality that I just said, which is if we are in the middle of getting account summaries and we need to refresh the account summaries list again because a change happened, we don't want to finish the current get account summaries because we don't care about it. So the typical thing that is done is you cancel the cancellation token, or you use the cancellation token source to signal to the cancellation token that you want it to cancel. So that's is cancel requested. In the event that it is requested, then we will most likely, since we have the potential to be doing a HTTP request, get an exception thrown. That's the default behavior of a cancellation token on a HTTP request, at least from what I have experienced so far. But that means that this thing here has the potential to give us an exception as well. So we're going to try doing this. And if it gets canceled, then we will get a, I can't remember, but I have a different approach that I've been doing for this. Normally, you would only want to capture the specific exceptions because if any other unexpected exceptions happened, you want to plan for them and know what you're going to do with those exceptions. But here, we know the only exceptions that we are expecting are operation canceled and task canceled, and or task canceled. I just can never remember which one. So what I prefer to do is a switch on exception. And that would be for the case oh, it knew it. Operation can't. So I'm using pattern matching to immediately cast to that specific type of exception. So if it was an operation canceled exception, then we want to have one type of behavior. And actually, we don't even need the setting because I'm not going to do anything with it. We're just going to ignore it. We don't care. And the other one is task canceled exception. You can't do, when you're doing pattern matching, you can't do two rules for the same set of stuff. So yeah, they still have to be two separate rules. Or that's what it is. Okay, so a task canceled exception is a specific type of operation canceled exception. However, if we put that first, then we don't get any errors, because a task canceled exception, the more specific one, is an operation canceled exception. But when I have tried to catch just an operation canceled exception and it throws a task canceled exception, it doesn't catch the exception correctly. It doesn't get handled correctly. So that's why I'm in the habit of making sure that I check for both. So anyway, like I said, if either of those two are the one that are thrown, we ignore it. Otherwise, any other exception, we rethrow, but we're not rethrowing it so that it resets the stack or anything. Like if I rethrew the exception like this, then the stack trace would now say, all right, this is where the exception happened, not the original place that the exception happened. So we're just rethrowing the same exception that already bubbled through here. That way, if we get something that is not expected in the app, it truly breaks, and we want it to, because we don't want to let loose exceptions happen. We want to account for all of them. And when we do, we'll just have various cases for those new exceptions. Like let's say we were expecting some kind of, I don't know, HTTP something or other exception that I can't think of. Yeah, like a timeout exception. Thank you. That's a good one. That's a really good one. Can you log that you're suppressing the timeout exception? It will assist my mental health. Absolutely. So one of the things that would trigger these exceptions is if the server takes too long to respond. And that is not the same as us purposefully doing a cancel up here. So that's a really, really good point, live coding. Thank you so much. Gosh. Now that's difficult, because since I'm providing a cancellation token and a timeout happens over HTTP, does that mean that the HTTP request will do a cancel on that token? Or is the only time that that token actually gets canceled when I call cancellation token source.cancel? I kind of want to find that out. So the thing that I would check is if not, yeah, so now I need to keep track of the token that we're using. Or this token equals CTS. Yeah, I don't have this mastered at all. That's why I really, really appreciate your input. I'm still learning. All right, so this token is cancellation requested. Oh, it's a property. Then we also want to throw. So this would be the case of an actual timeout, provided that the HTTP request is not signaling the token to cancel. Otherwise, HTTP HTTP request timeout. Thank you. This is us purposefully canceling the, oh, we're American here. Canceling the request. I'm American at least. So live coding is saying, I haven't mastered this. I categorize it all as general timeout stuff, and sometimes these cancellations happen during shutdown, like when it's being deployed. You're doing a new deployment and you're shutting down the server. We've had weird timeouts, and it turns out we're overloading the thread pool and starving out threads, and eventually a timeout would trigger one of these exceptions. Wow. Yeah, I would want to see those happen. I don't want to throw those away. I want to see them happen. So we can test it really quick by going into our account summaries client side implementation, which is going to take us to the controller called summaries controller. Nope, called accounts controller, the summaries get method. Yes. This is the one we want. Thank you. And when we are getting account summaries, we're not doing it with any other parameters other than the cancellation token. So that should be, why don't I have the cancellation token here? You need to propagate through, please. Okay, so instead of just returning okay, it worked, do the thing, we are going to await task delay the, actually let's do 100 seconds just to make sure, but the typical timeout time. Yeah, we may as well go ahead and pass the cancellation token. That way there's a difference between us canceling the request and the timeout actually happening. So we should see this in play as soon as we go to this page and we start loading the account summary. That just went straight away. Sumimasen. You're supposed to accounts here. Oh, summaries. Does it need to rebuild? Betcha it needs to rebuild. It doesn't need to rebuild. I don't care. Oh, wait, what? Yeah. Get account summaries. Account services API accounts summaries, which is where I am. I'm going to say it's cached. So we are going to clear cache. Clear cache. Nope, that wasn't clear cache. Which one of you buttons is clear cache? I don't think there's a clear cache on the screen. There's just disable cache. Okay, Control F5. And it's still loaded immediately. I'm sorry, what? Refresh account summary. Like, is this? Now I'm confusing myself. We're gonna run this with debugger attached. And we're gonna make sure that it is actually going to where I think it should be going. Alright. Throw new server hiccup exception. Okay, so we should hit the breakpoint as soon as it finishes loading. Right. It's probably still downloading WebAssembly. And now it's done. And now I push this. We hit the breakpoint for account refresh summary async. a summary account cancellation token, F11 into that, which takes us to somewhere else, because we are doing asynchronous web development. Yeah, let's just get transactions async. We need the account summaries. Oh my goodness. Excuse me, can you remind me where this is? Okay, we'll be hitting this eventually. Maybe. Wait, what? Could be wrong, but I didn't see it actually use either of these methods. It went somewhere I wasn't expecting. It went to transaction entry service, where we got transactions. No, I'm still confused. I don't know how to navigate my code suddenly. I think what I did was I made the account summary. That's not what I did. I don't have any parameters on account summary. And that's the only way that I can use the account summary grid and row. Has to be through this account summary component. And we are passing in the account summaries.data. Right, there's nowhere else that we're using account summary grid directly. Account summary grid. That's the account summary component. That's the account summary grid. Right. Those are the only two references to account summary grid, which is within the account summary component, and the account summary component is used on the data entry page right here. No parameters passed to it, which means that when it loads, it should be using on initialize, which it did. Refresh account summary. We definitely hit that breakpoint up there. And this get summary accounts client side implementation is where we should have gone, which then would have taken us to API account summaries controller, API accounts summaries. Oh, which should be waiting 100 seconds, not 100 milliseconds. So yes, it did what it was supposed to. I just completely skipped over this breakpoint. That's all that happened. Go, do the thing. Okay. So when we're over here, where are you refreshing again? Nothing updated. I want to hit the, actually I want here. This is what I want. So here we go. We're doing the HTTP request. We should be able to see it in Where is the window with the running app? We should be able to see it in our network tab here shortly. But that's going to be an issue. I don't want it to call twice immediately. And so now we can see that it is requested but pending. And it's going to go for 100 seconds until it eventually says, I'm at my 90-second limit. I'm only allowed to pull HTTP endpoints for 90 seconds by default. So I'm going to time out on you. Then the other thing that I would want to check is if I do another request, so if I enter a transaction within that amount of time and I purposefully cancel, using the code, of course, because there was an update event, does that look different than what's about to happen? Here we go, here we go. I should have put a little timer up here so that we know how much time has passed since that. Excuse me. I'm surprised this thing doesn't have a timer. I thought that this thing would show me live. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. We're almost to a minute and a half. You know what? We have a timer on screen. We could just use that. There it is. Okay, so we now hit the actual service, but we are also timed out with an exception, task canceled exception. We have our token, is cancellation requested is false, which is good because that means that the HTTP request did not send a cancel request to the token. So that was a true HTTP request timed out. We should have gotten this. Oh, I should have checked. We should have hit this and rethrown the exception, which would show up here, which it does, kind of. This looks like something else entirely. But yes, that does what we expect it to do. So now what I'm going to do is actually set this controller back to no delay, so that on first reload, because we saw that it happened twice. Where are you breakpointed? Okay. That one's just going to refresh right away. And now I'm going to re-add that timeout, or delay, that's what I said. And hopefully within 90 seconds, we can enter in a new transaction before the HTTP request times out. But yeah, we're going to make it here. We're going to hit this exception, but when we hit this exception, is cancellation requested is going to be true. And hello, Abaddis. I'm going to use that in the future. You can create your own exceptions. May as well make a hiccup exception. All right, here we go. Go. Almost 20 minutes directly on the clock. Oh, ready? Ready? 55. Go. Okay. No. 02. I'm already screwing up. 22. 2023. My local grocer. We bought some groceries. Paid 75 monetary units. Paid with our credit charge because we pay everything with our credit charge. And that has not been posted yet. Okay, there we are. So our HTTP request should have been canceled. So we should eventually hit this exception, except that is cancellation requested is true because we purposefully did the cancellation request ourselves. And so we know that it's not because the server timed out, because the HTTP request timed out. And so we're going to ignore it. However, it's still counting down for our most recent get account balance request. And you can see that it was canceled here. So this one, because I have that delay in there for 100 seconds, is going to eventually time out when this clock on our screen says somewhere around 17:45. I don't know. And then that one is going to be treated as a true cancellation error. So that one will take us into here. I can get rid of that breakpoint, get rid of that breakpoint, any other breakpoints while we are cleaning up breakpoints. Does anyone know where my breakpoints list is? I thought that it was up there. Breakpoint. Oh, it'd be in the debug menu anyway. Window. Breakpoints. Item summary. We don't need you anymore. We're keeping that one. And there it was. Okay, so here is our exception for the HTTP request timing out, where is cancellation requested is false, which means that we are going to rethrow task canceled exception. Because in fact, the server failed to respond in a timely manner. Awesome. Okay, let's go get rid of that artificial delay. Okay, so we still do have the issue of our account summary list not actually refreshing when we add a new account, even though we saw, oh, it's for the exact same reason as up here. Even though we saw it hit this thing to refresh the list, but I forgot to trigger a re-render so that this list actually updates. So let's buy something else, or let's log that we bought something else. I don't know, on the 15th, on the 14th. Does anyone know what was special about the 14th? Because I sure as hell don't. He's funny. I bought from Dukabot .234.15. A memo, which was goods and wares for Valentine's. Thank you, Dukabot, for that. Dukabot not bot. Best non-bot bot. And yes, that one has already posted on the 16th. Took a couple days because, you know, very busy financial week or something. I don't know. The question is, did that actually update immediately or not? I wasn't paying it. No, it didn't, because we would have a much higher balance on the credit charge. It did. Oh, it's still pending. Oh no. All right, so apparently the changes that I've been making that should be hot reloaded on the server do not actually get hot reloaded while I am running the application. So it's still acting like I have the delay in there. Otherwise, it would have completed by now. So maybe it is working. Let's find out. Class library cannot be debugged. Well, neither can your... I haven't said that in a long time. I'm not going to start saying it again now. Set as start a project. Your bot is so cool, Dukasoft. My bot is jealous. The only thing I got is test. I don't even have that. My bot doesn't even test anymore. That's so sad. What else can you do? Automated realms. Why aren't you as good as Dukasoft bot? It's just ignoring me now. It's like, I don't want to talk to you. Am I going to TwitchCon in Las Vegas? One, I already have a lot of struggles being around people physically. Two, Las Vegas is probably the lowest on my list of places that I want to visit. Yeah, that's a no. It's gonna have to be a no for me. How come? Big smiles. 2023. A lion at TwitchCon? It's full of casinos. Yeah, I love gambling. That's definitely not something that I want to get in the habit of. More groceries. Let's buy more groceries. And this time we actually bought groceries because we remembered to put stuff on the list. We got eggs, we got milk, we got hamburgers, hot dogs, hot dog buns, but we had to get enough hot dog packs and hot dog buns so that we had the exact amount of hot dog buns for the hot dog packs because OCD. I gamble every time I hit compile. Live Coding says, yeah, think of all the people you can be around in close quarters smelling of old smoke and desperation. Oh my gosh. No, thank you. Dukasoft, you're so right. Never mind. I do already have a habit of gambling. Dukasoft said it's like not writing tests. I gamble every time you hit compile. Anyway, let's get this thing. Let's just verify that we're going to get an increase in our negative balance. Actually, it's going to be an increase in our total balance, which is 237383. Of course it is, because you put in random numbers and you'll end up with repeating numbers. What? I don't know, 432. And this posted too because I'm entering this super late. Okay, 237383. That number should go up. Are you ready? 249851. Success. Now the question is, if we change something from pending to posted, such as in this Cheddit charge to local grocer, will this number decrease and this number increase? 13968, 0222 2023. No, because this is not triggering a transaction history change. 10 minutes to Blazor train. You can see the timer going off right there. So for those of you that are curious, this timer is because I am really interested in catching the episode that's going to be on the Dev Express YouTube channel. It's going to have Carl Franklin talking with Steve Sanderson about Blazor United. So really looking forward to seeing that. All right, let's find out why changing to pending did not trigger a transaction history changed. So let's go over to our transaction history. component, which is the transaction history grid. No, it is this transaction history that has the grid inside of it. But, oh, and apparently I'm not getting the transaction history data there. I'm getting it here. Okay, so when pending changes, I am not handling pending changing here. I am handling pending changing in the row directly, which would be the base row, obviously. Here it is, toggle pending. Oh, geez. And then we get a dialog, we get a modal for the pending changed. And that modal is where? It is confirmed toggle pending modal here. I know how my stuff is structured. Live Coding says, chat, we need to have a game plan for the Blazor live stream. We have to be a force for chaos, but within reason. This is a Blazor live stream. Yeah, seriously, I need to fix that. We'll get to that. It has been bothering me too, Dugasoft, and I apologize if it's causing you more anxiety than it should. But this stuff here, guys, this stuff here. Our monetary amounts should be right aligned. Our left, I don't know what's causing this. Maybe there just isn't a padding on the table rows, but it doesn't make sense that they are offset. I apologize. That's about all I can do. Just apologize. Okay, so here we are doing all of this, transaction entry service, Once it is successful, if it was not error, then that means that it was successful. Oh, I guess this is the only place that the success can happen, so never mind. That's a cancel. This is a successful patch. So once it is successful, then we want our transaction state, which I don't have here, but I'm going to need to inject one to notify transaction history changed. It doesn't seem like the right place to do it, but it'll be fine. I inject. We only have 5 minutes left, so we're going to get this to work. Transaction state your name. Oops. We know that it's going to be populated, so please forgive my default. Thank you. Transaction state. No, transaction. Wait, is it plural? It is plural. I think the headers are centered. Oh, is that what it is? I don't think so. So here on successful transaction update, I am going to notify transactions changed so that when I toggle pending, 022220, No, help. 2023. Then it will notify everything that's listening to transaction history changed to update. Son of a... Wait. This says summaries was queried. No, it didn't requery. On transaction history changed dot invoke, which account summary is listening for on transaction history changed. So it should have regotted the account summaries. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. No, I'm not. This pending number should have changed. So let's go ahead and close and restart one more time. If this doesn't work, we will just get it to work in the next stream at the very beginning. But next stream will be Community Day. So for any of you that are interested in talking about some technology topic that you are interested in, then feel free to let me know ahead of time. Otherwise, just show up on Friday, ready to discuss whatever it is. I open the Discord channel, voice channel, for your lovely voices to come through on the stream. And we can have a conversation. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing. Align items center. No, you're right. Oh, align items is for vertical centering. Or display flex. It would be justify content centered. That would make it look center. Yeah, well, and it also changes depending on what your basis is, what your flex basis is. Showtime, says Disco. He's excited too. Yes. Okay, so let's see if toggle pending will update my pending balance and my total balance, or not my total balance, my available balance. Because the total balance will never change. 02222023. Yes, it did. Success. So I'll go ahead and do a commit for this, and then we will do a PR on Friday, first thing. But yes. But for now, as you know, I am going to go ahead and end my stream here 30 minutes early because we are awesome. Thank you so much for the follows. Cooker 33. Can I just call you CK? Because I'm going to be heading over to the live stream that's about to happen in about 3 minutes over on the DevExpress YouTube channel. Thank you all for being here. No more us from me. Thank you all for being here. It's been a fun day. We got the issue taken care of. We'll do another one next time. And Dukasoft is reposting the link to the YouTube channel that is about to do this Blazor United thing with Steve Sanderson and Carl. I can't think of Carl's last name suddenly. Carl Franklin. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you when you come back around. Again, Friday will be the next time that I stream, 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. And I'll also be around on Discord. I'll post the recording of this video to YouTube sometime 24 hours after we end the stream. Okay, ciao for now. See you all, or whoever is going to show up in the DevExpress stream over there. Okay, juice, ciao, bye, waiting, sound, microphone.